Black Lives Matter, students shut down the ACLU's campus free speech event because liberalism is white supremacy. Students affiliated with the Black Lives Matter movement crashed an event at the College of William and Mary, rushed the stage, and prevented the invited guests, the American Civil Liberties Union Claire Gastanyaga, a William and Mary alum, from speaking. Ironically, Gastanyaga had intended to speak on the subject students and the First Amendment. The disruption was live streamed on Black Lives Matter at William and Mary's Facebook page. Students took to the stage just a few moments after Gastanyaga began her remarks. At first, she attempted to spin the demonstration as a welcome example of the kind of thing she had come to campus to discuss, commenting, "Good, I like this," as they lined up and raised their signs. "I'm going to talk to you about knowing your rights," and protests and demonstrations, which this illustrates very well. Then I'm going to respond to questions from the moderators, and then questions from the audience. It was the last remark she was able to make before protesters drowned her out with cries of ACLU, you protect Hitler. 2. They also chanted, "The oppressed are not impressed. Shame, 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 shame. Blood on your hands. The revolution will not uphold the Constitution," and liberalism is white supremacy.
Tonight I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the ACLU, who we are and what we do. Good. I like this. This is good. And I'm going to talk to you a bit about knowing your rights and protests and demonstrations, which this illustrates very well, and I appreciate it. And then I'm going to respond to questions from the moderators, and then any questions that there are from the audience.
ACLU, you protect Hitler too! 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 ACLU, hostile to who? ACLU.
This went on for nearly 20 minutes. Eventually, according to the campus Flat Hat News, one of the college's co-organizer of the event handed a microphone to the protest leader, who delivered a prepared statement. The disruption was apparently payback for the ACLU's principled First Amendment defense of the Charlottesville alt-right civil liberties. Organizers then canceled the event. Some members of the audience approached the podium in an attempt to speak with Gastanyaga, but the protesters would not permit it. They surrounded Gastanyaga, raised their voices even louder, and drove everybody else away. The college released what can only be described as an incredibly tepid statement.
William and Mary has a powerful commitment to the free play of ideas. We have a campus where respectful dialogue, especially in disagreement, is encouraged so that we can listen and learn from views that differ from our own, so that we can freely express our own views, and so that debate can occur. Unfortunately, that type of exchange was unable to take place Wednesday night when an event to discuss a very important matter, the meaning of the First Amendment, could not be held as planned. Silencing certain voices in order to advance the cause of others is not acceptable in our community. This stifles debate and prevents those who've come to hear a speaker, our students in particular, from asking questions, often hard questions, and from engaging in debate where the strength of ideas, not the power of shouting, is the currency. William and Mary must be a campus that welcomes difficult conversations, honest debate and civil dialogue.
Absent a promise to identify the perpetrators and make sure this never happens again, the college's statement is meaningless. If officials are just going to stand by while students make it impossible to even have a conversation about free speech on campus, the matter is already settled. There is no free speech at William and Mary. These students have clearly made up their minds about free speech. They don't want to share it with anyone else, especially Nazis, but also civil liberties lawyers who happen to be experts on the thing they are willfully misunderstanding, the First Amendment. Their ideological position is obviously incoherent. Liberalism is white supremacy. What? And would not stand up to scrutiny, which is probably why they have decided to make open debate an impossibility on campus. They really shouldn't get away with this.
Who do you serve? Who do you protect? Who do you serve? Who do you...
They have gotten away with this. And what's more, the illiberal left has once again shut down dialogue that would allow people to engage on one of the most important topics in a free society.
So, who is the ACLU? For nearly 100 years, the ACLU has been our nation's guardian of liberty, working in courts, legislatures, and communities to defend and preserve the individual rights and liberties that the Constitution and the laws of the United States guarantee everyone in this country. Whether it's achieving full equality for LGBT people, establishing new privacy protections for our digital age of widespread government surveillance, ending mass incarceration, or preserving the right to vote or the right to have an abortion, the ACLU takes up the toughest civil liberties cases and issues to defend all people from government abuse and overreach. The ACLU is frequently asked to explain its defense of certain people or groups, particularly controversial and unpopular entities such as the Ku Klux Klan, the Nation of Islam, and the National Socialist Party of America. We do not defend them because we agree with them. Rather, we defend their right to free expression and free assembly. Historically, the people whose opinions are the most controversial or extreme are the people whose rights are most often threatened. Once the government has the power to violate one person's rights, it can use that power against everyone. We work to stop the erosion of civil liberties before it's too late.
This is the authoritarian left who seek to impose their will on others. Do you think for a moment that if someone did this to them, they would stand for it? They need to think this one through, because practically everyone knows that political and social positions are like a pendulum. They swing one way, then back to the other. Today, the people calling for the stifling of free speech will be the ones who will be kept from having a voice. And why is that? Well, if they are successful at shutting down open debate in a free society, it will no longer be a free one. And when that pendulum swings back, they could be the ones who are gagged. Black Lives Matter and social justice warriors talk of the voices of the marginalized. They really will be without a voice one day if their standards are accepted and put into place. Students and others should be invested in the First Amendment and be urged to remember that when you shut one set of voices down, no matter how contemptible they may actually be, you may very well be the next on the list. I do sincerely believe there's a place for all voices and opinions, even ones that are odious and offend our sensibilities. But think about this. Those on the left have opinions that others may very well find worthy of silencing, and I do not want that. What they are working towards is Orwellian, a dystopian, totalitarian state of the future that monitors all your thoughts and censors wrong think. Is this what they want? Goodbye.